Hello, this is Gunaratnam. The student number is 20. Now I'm going to be explaining about my project. It is hosted under the local host. So I will first give an introduction of my project, then I will jump into the code section. So it is the landing page of my project, and you can see I will show a small demo gameplay, so that will explain what my project is. So here, so you can see this is my project, and the player needs to escape from his village. So the game name is Escape the Village. So when he is going, he needs to open the door. In order to open the door, he needs to solve the puzzle which is coming from the Smile API. And for example, some door has some timers, some door doesn't have timers, and it is an MCQ based question. For example, I think this door doesn't have MCQ based. The player has to enter the answer in the box. Okay, like that, there are four doors, four puzzles types. These are connected with the Smile API intro probability concept, and I will explain how it is connected in the code section. And you can see there are 6 levels in this game, like desert, and this is the desert place. Level 3 is the snowy winter place, and the level 4 is a really forest area that it has lot of enemies. Like this is graveyard, like that. Finally, the science lab, it's a science fiction lab. He needs to escape from the science fiction lab. So this is the landing page of my game, and it has a home page, and you can see, and there are 6 levels, and here we have an about page, and it explains what is this game and some information and gameplay. And here we have a leaderboard, and if we click the leaderboard, and we can see who is the person in the first place. Okay, this is a publicly available leaderboard. If I would like to play this game, I can create an account. So I click create an account. So I'm entering my name, entering my email address, and entering a password. Click register. You can see the register successfully, log in to continue. So now I'm going to be login, entering my password. So now what it will do, it will send an OTP to my email to confirm. So I use the Google API, I mean Google SMTP API. I use 2 APIs in this game. First is the Smile API, and the second one is the SMTP API to send email. So now if I open my inbox, email inbox, and it will send an email saying escape the village, OTP number, this OTP number, don't share this OTP number, warning, like that. And I can enter the OTP number here. So if I click the OTP, now I'm into the game. So this is the dashboard of the game. Here we have the settings. In the settings, you can see Gunaratnam. For example, if I want to change my name, Guna to, and if I submit, and it will say it will update your name successfully. We can change the password here inside the settings, and we can reset the game if we want. For example, resetting the game will delete all the finished levels and the scores and things like that. So if I go back, and I can see the leaderboard, and it will highlight. So it has a leaderboard, and I can see the start game, so level 1, so I can play. Okay, like this I can play. So this is my account. So let's test another account, log it out to check that the session is working correctly. So I would like, there are some accounts, so I will, and the password is this. I already created some account and log in, and now I'm inside the Lisantini's account. Yeah, the name is Lisantini's. And now if I open the start game, she has finished until 6 levels. Yeah, she finished all the levels, and we can check her scores, and we can check her leaderboard, and you can see he's the first player. And for example, if I want to play this, the final level, I can play, and this is a science fiction area that the person needs to escape. Okay, so to check the security, just I would like to explain the session concept. Okay, I copy the URL, and I log out to check that the session is working correctly. I open that, but it doesn't allow, because every page checks whether the session is exit. The user is defined by the session. I'm going to be explaining about the code of this project. As first of all, I will explain the technology stack that is used for this project, and PHP and MySQL for backend, and JavaScript, HTML, Bootstrap, and other front-end framework for front-end development. So this is the folder structure. Here we have the database, MySQL database, and here we have the landing page source, and this is the game source. And landing page is nothing but this is the landing page source, like login, register, and things like that. So in the game source, what is the game source? The game source is the source that is after you log in, you jumped into the nice UI, like the dashboard and settings and levels and leaderboard. Those are the things as a game source. This is divided into two part: landing page source and game source. And in the others, I have did some Python script to generate birds and some diamonds, coins. These are things are generated by Python script. So these are the technology stacks I used in this game. So okay, now we can jump into the code explanation. First, I will explain what is the structure I use. I use the object-oriented programming method. You can see inside the landing page, we have a PHP classes. So inside the PHP classes, we have CRUD classes. CRUD mean like the CRUD function. For example, we have a database class called database CRUD. It is connected to the database, and it has some select query and insert query. After it's selected, return the data back where you called, and like that. And okay, and we have update query and things like that. So we can see the PHP handle. So I click the registration. In the registration, I create an instance of that database CRUD function. I mean database CRUD class. Okay, and from that class, I create an instance as a database obj. And whenever I need some operations like create operation, select query, or insert query, or update query, I can simply use this instance from that class, which is top of that class. And you can see I choose select from this email. I first select the email. If the email is already exceed, and it say already exceeds, it returns an message, error message to the user, to the front end, like this email is already registered, you cannot register, like that. Okay, if it is not registered, then it will do the needful to register the person. So this is how the code is structured. And you can see there's an email class. I used two API in this program. The first API is the SMTP API to send the OTP. The second one is the Smile API to patch the questions from the Smile API server. And you can see this is the email class, and here we have the credential getter. It gets the credentials of the API. The API credential is stored here, and inside the you can see inside here PHP classes. So here's the API credentials of it is a Google API. You are using the Google email to send OTP number, okay, for the relevant account. Okay, and this is the class for the email class, sending email account. It is written in the object oriented way, and you can see that inside the game source, we have the game source. In the game source, we have level 1. So it is a PHP, and it is fully HTML, and you can see that everything is written in JS. Everything is that the function and the movement and the event driven. When I press the escape bar, the player jumps. When I click the arrow and the player moves, these things are written in JavaScript. It goes under the event driven programming, I guess. And for example, and here we have the API, Smile API call. I call this API with this URL. So what it does, it gets the for example, if I spaced here, I guess I will get some base 68 string as an image. I decrypt that image here. This is how the Smile API is used here. It is all JavaScript code, and this JavaScript is also written in the object oriented way. For example, if I see the script 1, if I type door1, this is a door1 code. So how it generates a door1 code. If I want another door, I can just copy this code and paste and change to door 15 or 16. So it will generate another door, and I can pass this information like a door 1, this div, and this is the timer. For example, if I enter numbers like 300, then it will give a turn on the timer. So it is all written in an object oriented way. It has many functions, jumps and coin and background music, and there are a lot of things in it. And and some virtual identity. We can see that inside the class and the other class we have a class for the session handling. For example, create login. When we are login and it's create session, so when we are log out, it's destroy the session. So it's fully secureable program that I fixed almost all the bugs in it, and I can say that as this game as A to Z complete definition of done game. Thank you so much. This is Gunaragulan Gunaratnam. I am a student